Peter Parker. We used to know each other. But the truth is, I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man. God, that's cool. And sometimes, Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. But then it's behind him, huh? Spider-Man, one day. No way. Where do you think you're from that?
Boy, Coach Shackman, I'm Rick Hunt. Wherever the story is, we'll take you. We'll straighten it and you'll see your side.
Good evening, I'm Alex Boucher in Washington. We begin with our top story this half hour. American forces launched a new wave of air strikes against Iran overnight. The first in nearly a week. U.S. Civil Command says dozens of military targets were hit, including command centers, missile, and naming facilities. And this video from inside Iran shows smoke billowing after the strikes. U.S. officials say the latest attacks were a response to Iranian attacks on Tuesday that targeted U.S. troops at an air base in Jordan. And the U.S. economy grew less than expected from April to June this year. New data showing GDP growth slowed to just 1.5% as inflation took hold over the early months of the Iran war. The period covered by the data released following a historic global oil shortage set off by the conflict there in the Middle East and months of May. AAA reports the national average for price of regular gasoline soared to $4.56 a gallon. And Colin Gray, a author of the teenager who carried out a deadly mass shooting at his high school, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. A jury found Gray guilty of second-degree murder and other charges. Prosecutors say he provided the rifle used in the 2024 attack where two students were killed. Gray's son, Holt, is now 16 years old. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison for that shooting without possibility of parole. He's guilty to 56 counts, including murder. The investigation is underway at a Pennsylvania high school for former football coaches and 6 players at Pennsylvania high school face criminal charges in connection with alleged locker room assault on the teammates. Charges allege that some players assaulted a sophomore after 2 practices and that the coaches kept quiet after they were reported. The second incident. Armando Garcia is following this story.
4 coaches and 6 players were shot down the high school football team and indicted by grand jury after a 50-year-old student told one of the coaches he had been shot by his teammates in the locker room in September 2025. The juvenile victim described the incident as being punched, kicked, and stopped in the head, cleats, forcing him to protect himself and his head. The district attorney said the alleged high school attackers also used a broom stick against the victim. The school district didn't learn about the incident until a week later. According to the grand jury report, coaches, quote, wanted to cover it up to protect the season. Officials eventually ended the 2025 season early and launched an external investigation which found insufficient locker room supervision by coaches and a failure to prioritize student safety.
There has been reluctance by most parties, adults and juveniles, to tell what they knew, what they saw, what they heard that day in the locker room.
Investigators say initially they believed this was an isolated incident, but during the investigation they say they discovered there was a similar attack a few weeks earlier and revealed the videos that had been circulated of the first incident. The victim's family attorney tells ABC station WPBI the team continues to be isolated and threatened, saying, quote, at a time when a 15-year-old victim needed support, some students and adults failed to come forward. The school district has now canceled the entire upcoming season and is overhauling the football program at the high school. In a statement Wednesday, the superintendent said, quote, while no legal outcome can erase the harm that was experienced, we appreciate that after nearly a year, charges have been announced and those responsible are being held accountable through the criminal justice system. As part of the investigation, prosecutors interviewed 24 witnesses and looked at cell phone video shot by students, showing the alleged attack.
Armando, thank you. We're turning out new details on the arrest of former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo. The Milwaukee Sheriff deputies say the former NFL QB was suspected of operating a vehicle while intoxicated on a Wisconsin highway. Police say the Romo had an open alcohol beverage in the car. Our Eric Pachersky is following the latest.
in a great young lady. Common courteous Rolo claiming he consumed no alcohol. But one of the citations issued to Rolo, obtained by ABC News, said a search turned up an open bottle of an alcoholic beverage on the passenger side of Rolo's vehicle. At that point, Rolo from a lawyer. At the station house, the deputy informed him why he's there.
The gracias, and then the odor of intoxicating alcohol beverage.
She also said a search of his backpack turned up small bottles of booze.
Oh, he drunk. He looked drunk. He got a drunk face. He looked drunk.
Before performing the test,
He got that drunk face. So the phone was on the chair.
when the deputy asked whether Rolo ever suffered a concussion, the former quarterback who was sacked nearly 250 times during his 13 seasons with the Cowboys seemed amused.
May have injuries recently and concussions.
Over the years, yes, but not recently.
Ultimately, the deputy decided Rolo failed the field sobriety test, and he declined a breath test.
We're not doing that.
Rolo was placed under arrest.
Did I pass this test?
Keep turn.
No, I didn't. I'll regret it.
Rolo was handcuffed, but the deputy recognized him.
Tony drunk. He on that burger.
Aaron, thank you. And from armed robberies to gate crashes, kids incidentally reaches at celebrity homes or blowing up headlines and making it clear that thieves and bad actors seem to be more brazen than ever, even intruding in broad daylight. Our Hicks reports more for next time.
Working out problems twice. And she said it was the worst thing that ever happened to her.
Mayor and Stone Morgan Stewart opened up about 2 robberies that were called one latest episode of Netflix's Therapist.
They smashed through my office door and they went to our bedroom and ransacked my husband's watches. This is happening a lot in the area. Unfortunately, like it's happening all the time. Basically, everyone I know is on garage.
Brazen burglaries and attempted break-ins at the homes of celebrities stole the headlines.
A man crashed his vehicle through the gates of actress Jennifer Aniston's Los Angeles home.
Tom Hanks is among the victims of a burglary raid.
From Jennifer Aniston to Tom Hanks to Travis Kelce, A-listers seem to have a target on their home.
Anybody that is worth or paid a lot of money and leads a very high profile or sort of luxury-driven life by most people's definition are going to be targets no matter where they are. People get their ideas about how to commit crime based on what they see in front of them.
Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley